Welcome everybody, head to head here between myself and Dylan. You can see I lead the series 3-1. Both of us are original Season 1 players, meeting again in Season 8. This is Modern. Dylan is on Lantern Control, my most hated deck, so I really want to beat this. I'm playing it's not a brew, it's Blue-Red Wizards that I've just added that new burn spell. Background vocals for a lot of this season is going to be provided by my daughter because I'm also babysitting when I do this, so I'll just adjust my microphone. I look after my daughter, so you'll be hearing a lot of her as I record this season. You can see Dylan here has got the 2 Codex Shredders going. He doesn't have the Lantern yet, so my thinking at this stage is this is kind of I'm not going to call it a glass cannon deck, or he's got the Lantern actually, but once he resolves an ensnaring bridge, it's virtually impossible for me to win, particularly game 1. So I have that Remand, and I have a Snapcaster, so both pretty good cards for me here. I want to flip the Delver because I've got Remand, but sometimes I don't want to flip the Delver because it can get under the ensnaring bridge, particularly if he has 1 card in hand. But here I play the Snapcaster because I can play the Wizard's Lightning, and my thinking is that I just have to be super aggressive game 1, and just hope that you can see there I misplayed big time. He's played a Whir of Invention, so he's going to be able to get down the ensnaring bridge. So my Snappy can't attack, Delver can't flip. He can see my top card. I'm a bit surprised he let me have that Snapcaster, to be honest. Nimble Obstructionist is going to be useless now. It's not good for anything other than cycling. Grim Lavamancer is going to be a good one, providing he doesn't get a Pithing Needle that can stop it. But you can see there he's got the Inventor's Inventor's Sphere, which is going to get him at 1 point of life each turn, which is going to negate my Delver. So I've either got a Ghost Quarter that Inventor's Sphere, or come up with something different. I'm going to cycle Nimble Obstructionist at the end of the turn. He's no way going to let me have that Remand. He doesn't know about the Remand that I've got in my hand though, so I can kind of keep this Snappy back and surprise him with it. Now I'm ahead on the damage race because I've got the Delver of Secrets, and I was a bit surprised he went and cracked Inventor's Sphere here, but a Witchbane Orb is a good pickup. The only problem I find with the Witchbane Orb in the Lantern decks is that it's very taxing on the mana. You can see Dylan almost has to tap out there to play that. Now here he can Codex Shredder my Bolt, and I'm going to get a Lightning Bolt off the top. It's a Wizard's Lightning, so I can play it for 1. I think I've got lethal because the Wizard's Lightning will bolt him to 7. He's going to take 2 from Snapcaster to 5, 2 from the Delvers to 3, and Grim Lavamancer can do 2, plus a Snap Bolt will finish him off. So I'm going to take game 1, we go to game 2. Game 2, because you don't see too much Lantern, and also this is a deck that I have put together for GP New Jersey. I'm going to play some Modern side events if I bomb out, or I should say when I bomb out of the main event. I'm going to play some Modern, and I intend to play this because it's got Skewer the Critics, so I've basically got 12 Lightning Bolts in this deck now. Grafdigger's Cage is a beast against me. As soon as that came down, I didn't think I could win this one. And particularly Girapur Ether Grid, basically it shoots down every single creature in my deck, so now I'm pretty much screwed. I'm just going to play it out, we'll see how it goes, because sideboard, I don't see too much Lantern around, so I don't have a lot of options. I think I bring in 2 Shattering Sprees, and I bring in an Echoing Truth. I play a 1-of in the sideboard, mainly for the Phoenix deck, so I can bounce all the Phoenixes back. But Echoing Truth will be a good one here as well. And a Negate and 2 Dispels. That's what I bring in from the sideboard. I take out the Nimble Obstructionists and a couple of Ops, I think. There's my daughter again. So here I'm on a race. He's at 12, so I got to try and burn him out basically before he can get anything going. You can see I'm 1 mana short of snapping back counterspell that's in the grave, that remand there. So I was a bit surprised he got Codex Shredder. He's going to put the Shattering Spree in the bin. Not too bad because I can snap it back was my initial thought, but then of course he's got Grafdigger's Cage. And see, I've got the Desolate Lighthouse, so I could have drawn it in response. And again here, Grafdigger's Cage, I can't snap back a remand. This is getting pretty useless now. I'm just going to discard a creature here, the Delver, because I can't do much with the that Girapo Ether Grid on there. It just shoots down. It'll shoot the Delver down straight away. He finds the Pyrite Spellbomb. It's probably a bit of a miss with the Ancient Stirrings, but at this stage you can see he's just gearing up for a dump in his hand, gearing up for an Ensnaring Bridge. There's the Pithy Needle about to come down, so at this stage it's pretty much game over. One of the tricks that people like to pull sometimes with Pithy Needle is name a fetch land, so I don't crack the fetch. See if he wants to be smart, but he doesn't. He wants to be real smart, not fake smart, and he names the Desolate Lighthouse, so I can't even filter. And at this stage it is useless. I'm about to concede. You can see another island there, so I think that brings the concession. So we're into game 3 now to see who can take it out. You can see Echoing Truth in the opening hand and a Surgical Extraction is going to be pretty good. I fully expected this Thoughtseize. Fire off a Lightning Bolt, so I've got plenty of good options. I don't really mind what he takes here because Remand, Echoing Truths are going to be good, and I think whatever he takes is going to reveal a bit of information. So you can see he didn't take the Remand. So at this point I decided I'm going to Surgical the Thoughtseize just so that I can protect my hand, particularly the Remand. And also to get information on what he's playing with, and also to get a look at his deck. So you can see he's only playing 3 Ensnaring Bridges, which was a bit of a surprise. And I was a bit worried because he does have the Ensnaring Bridge in his hand. So at this point, I'm thinking I've got to kind of bait that Ensnaring Bridge. No, sorry, he has a Surgical Extraction in hand. So what I'm thinking at this stage is, how do I bait that out of his hand to get him to use it? He does have more in his deck, but I just got to hope he doesn't draw them, because Remand is no good against Surgical because he can just pay the 0 life and just pay it straight back. Again, I'm taking the aggressive route here. You can see I've got the Snapcaster, so I can snap back the Wizard's Lightning. I think that's going to be enough to get the Surgical Extraction. I've got a Bolt and a Lightning in there. So here's Witchbane. This is going to cost me a turn, though. I can't do the snap this turn. And Shattering Spree. So my thinking here with Shattering Spree is, he's got the Welding Jar. So if I go for the Codex Shredder, I'm really only getting the Welding Jar. So I want to get something else. I want to be a bit greedy. So I'm going to hold the Shattering Spree. I know he doesn't have any more Thoughtseizers because I took them all. Grim Lavamancer is not a bad draw here. I'm a bit keen to see if he's going to get rid of this. So here's my bait for the Surgical. He's at 12 life. I think he's going to go for it. Yeah, so I target Lightning Bolt, so he targets Lightning Bolt in response. I don't get it, but I do have an attacker on the board. You can see I've got Skewer the Critics coming next. But he's going to put that away. Delver, at this point of the game, is not too bad, but because he knows I've got the Shattering Spree, so I'm looking for a counter spell. So I'm going to Ghost Quarter myself here, so that I can find a counter spell. But of course, I just get another Delver. I don't know if that's a. And Dylan comes up with a really nice play here. So now I'm going to go for the Shattering Spree. I'm going to take out the Lantern so he can't see what I've got. But Dylan comes up for a really nice play. He knows Wizard's Lightning is coming next. And I've also got one in the grave. So what he's going to do is surgical it on my draw step. Because a Wizard's Lightning is going to put him down to 8. Put him down to 5, sorry, which would be lethal on board because Delver would flip. But at this stage I'm looking, he's got 4 cards in hand. If he plays an Ensnaring Bridge, he's going to have 1 mana left with 3 open, so I could still swing with everybody. So he's got a number of options that he can pull here. Again, he knows the Wizard's Lightning is there. So he can Codex Shredder it if he wishes. But of course, another Welding Jar. So at this point, I thought it was starting to look pretty dire. It's an uphill battle. So upkeep, I'm going to flip the Delver. And in response, this is one of a very, very good play from Dylan. In response, he knows I'm out of cards, so he can whir for Ensnaring Bridge. Then he can surgical my Wizard's Lightning. So he knew I'd bite with the Delver because the Delver was going to flip, so it's going to be too big for Ensnaring Bridge. If it didn't flip, I could still push through. But I draw a Remand. I can't attack this turn. So basically, I know he's got a Witchbane Orb and one other, so I thought he was going to tap out there for that. So that's a nice pickup. And Negate is really good as well. Snapcaster is perfect because I've got the Echoing Truth, so now I can snap back Echoing Truth. If he has a surgical in response, I can protect it with Negate. And so I've got this match. I'm going to take it down 2 games to 1. And very entertaining contest.